If you truly intend to deprive the world of death, then be prepared to witness it return to a state of stagnation.
I understand, Lady Amunet. Our limited lifespan shapes all that we know and love. Not even the Death Titan has the right to take that away from humankind again. Nestia's love was the chrysalis of Gold's first blessing, but it most likely wasn't understood by mankind. We only learned to interpret this wonderful gift after Thanatos' arrival. If the world was bereft of death, then the Queen of Styxia wouldn't have played midwife in delivering me into this world. You wouldn't have welcomed me into Idonia, and Aglaya would never have invited me to join the Flame Chase journey. None of these stories would ever have happened, and I would never have lived, let alone found happiness. Thank you, Mother. I will use all the love I've experienced in this long life to complete the final miracle. My teacher, Anaxagoras, grant me the wisdom of all things. I call upon thee, the stripped dead dragon's corpse. Rises from the earth, falls from the sky. As above, so below. This is the greatest power of all powers. Unstoppable in this world. The great work that commands all death. I shall grant you embrace. Saved my life, truly gone? Or will you show yourself again, once we eradicate this hatred and regret?
Receive divinity.
I'll remember this
Eternal
word.
sleep is not the dead return! Nothing major.
As you wish. And I know you're anxious. I shall remember this one. Embrace and don't be afraid.
Is it coming? Riding the west wind. Away we go!
There's no more need to weep and grieve. I will grant you peace.
This turn.
Yes, it's me. I'm back. May death protect us! Be careful. They may be moving by instinct, but there is fury welling up within them.
I'll see you off.
Embrace a new life.
Eternal sleep is not the dead return!
back to the Nether Realm. Oh, death. Sleep in peace. I'm sorry I have to wake you up from ancient death. And I know you're anxious. Shh. Don't be afraid. Do you remember me? I'm the girl you once carried across the Sea of Souls. I'm sorry I wasn't able to remember you, but with the help of many people, I was finally able to pick up these broken fragments of my past. I'm back, Pollux. I know this might not be what you wanted. But I have to do this. So please, carry me across the Sea of Souls again and return me to the Nether Realm, just like you did in the past. Please take me to where the core flame of death rests. I'll be going now. They may look scary, but as long
What's wrong?
Are you...
What's wrong with her?
Her time is almost up. If I don't go now, I'm afraid her soul will return to Thanatos' embrace before me.
What? Oh no! Is there anything we can do?
Don't worry. I promised I would ask Thanatos for the Trailblazers' right to roam the Earth again. Mem, stay here and keep a close watch until I return, all right?
Alright. I'm the best at taking care of others. Go on, Cass. Make sure not to leave yourself with any regrets.
It's a deal then. Please. Wait for me.
After all that, you still ended up back here.
So the legends were true. the Netherrealm really is a sea of flowers.
Yes. Just like the flower fields we tended to back then.
Is that you, Plixia?
Do you remember me?
I don't have the memories from that time, but I've seen you before during an experiment.
I see. Call me Thanatos, then. It'll be easier. However, since you recognize the name, you must already know everything about Thanatos, right?
Yes. I'm here to reforge the order of life and death in Amphorius.
You know, my sister was a sympathetic, but rather sensitive person. Whenever she didn't want to say what was on her mind, she would avoid eye contact and look off into the distance. Just like what you are doing now.
Can you tell me about the last Era Nova? What did you do, Plixia?
Where should I begin? I suppose we can start from the beginning. A long, long time ago, there were a pair of like-minded twins. As foretold in the prophecy, they were chosen to be successors to the god of death. But fate was cruel. The price of attaining divinity was to take the life of a family member with our own hands.
That trial was indeed recorded in that memory.
Then you should already know that my sister voluntarily gave up her own life, so that I could ascend as the demigod of death. But I couldn't accept that. Why did we have to kill each other for a future she'd never see herself? That's not fair. So, while weaving the laws of the new world, I shattered the forbidden bottom line for life and death. I reshaped my sister's soul and took the form of the great dragon Pollux to carry her up the River of Souls and back into the mortal realm. But our fates were already decided and manifested in unexpected ways in response to my futile actions. Aging is an unbreakable law of nature laid upon humankind, created at the same time as death. When the living die, their souls will meet Thanatos, who would determine where every soul goes. If the Reaper raises their left hand, the soul is granted death and allowed to enter the Netherrealm to await reincarnation. If they raise their right hand, the soul is rejected by the Netherrealm and returned to the mortal realm to continue walking the earth.
That's why the Hand of Shadow can only lay down judgment and not embrace another being.
Yes. Death was originally a pair of hands, but they were split in twain when we reached the mortal realm, never to touch each other ever again. The half of Thanatos that represents life, the undying human who grants death, that was the curse I forced upon you.
Then, What about you?
As the half of Thanatos representing death, I shoulder the fate of defying death. I died the moment I entered the world of the living. From then on, my Titan also no longer existed in this world. The cycle of life and death stopped. Souls were denied their audience with death, and were left stranded within an ever-rising river of the dead. What irony. My selfish desire to save your life gave you and the world a fate far worse than death instead. Then, what was left of my reason was left behind in the Netherrealm, where I've been taking care of these flowers day after day, until there is now a sea of them, all while mulling over the subject of life, death, parting, and enduring an endless loneliness.
Fate is absurd indeed. Our lives were a mirrored image of one another, like a pair of hands. Even so, we arrived at the same destination. We walked different paths, yet experienced the same pain.
I had hoped that maybe you would at least have a good life in this cycle. I'm sorry.
I lived my life well. It didn't go to waste. As far as I'm concerned, you did nothing wrong.
Even though I forced the authority of granting death to humanity upon you, a total stranger.
Too many responsibilities were forced upon me in the course of this long journey. I was once lost, even upset. But I realized recently that if it weren't for your blessing, I wouldn't have understood the source of these emotions, nor would I have realized my purpose. I wouldn't have made it here to reunite with my missing half, and we wouldn't be discussing our past while sharing the same view of this landscape. I wouldn't have understood the meaning of our existence.
The meaning of our existence.
This sea of flowers blooms on dead land, because we sowed it with the seeds of our separation and watered it with our tears of loneliness. Yes, the only thing death is allowed to create are flowers that bloom from blood and tears. That's why Thanatos cannot create living beings at will. Nor can the hand of shadow determine a person's remaining days. Because the life and death of mortals should never be dictated by another's will.
Are you saying there's no point in Thanatos' existence?
No. No single being can bear the scales of life and death on their own, not even a god. Life and death weigh equally heavy. We both know that now, don't we?
You, too, must have had a difficult life. We've taken quite the ridiculous journey together, haven't we? I had a feeling, even back then, that we would meet again one day. Not to embrace one another after a long separation, but to come in search of retribution. Tell me the answer that's already been written, and let us draw this seemingly endless fate to a close. been far too long. I've waited here for centuries, watching day after day as desperate spirits are denied by this lonely wasteland. I always hoped I would see you among them, but I was also afraid of seeing you. I didn't know how I could possibly face you again, but more than anything, I was afraid that you might have forgotten all about me.
I know. But don't you see, Polixia? I made it back anyway. You don't have to shoulder death's authority on your own anymore. It was always meant to be held in two hands anyway. So, let's give our core flame to her, and have her take it back to the mortal realm. Give humanity back their cycle of life and death. Our responsibility as Thanatos was never about picking out favorite souls. We were only meant to watch over life. Let's tend the field together and create a warm sea of flowers for all the souls to come. What do you think, Polixia?
Yes, just one last step. You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold by the prophecy, Thanatos' authority is only destined for only one person to wield. As the Chrysos heir of death, as their demigod, as a titan, our fated moment has arrived once again.
Just like before.
Yes, just like before. But unlike that time, the ones undergoing the trial this time are prepared.
You've made up your mind?
Yes, as dictated by fate. But I won't be afraid. As long as you're here with me. Complete your trial in this life. Grant me the embrace of death, and light the spark of life ablaze. You've been tempered by life and death. I know you'll be able to give this wasteland its first breath of life. Like a raven butterfly, flying swiftly into the netherrealm, perching on the twig of death.
I will. After this, I will remain permanently in the Netherrealm. The River of Souls shall return here and rain down from the sky, scattering souls across the earth. The cycle of life and death will flow once again. The sea of flowers you sowed shall bear countless joyous or sorrowful souls, and bloom evermore.
Thank you. Just one last thing. Can you grant me one wish?
Of course. What is it?
Please, don't forget me.
I promise you, when we meet in the next world, even if I have endured another reincarnation, even if we do not know each other's names, I will still hold you tightly in my arms, just like what I did when we were born.
Casterus. Casterus. You're as beautiful as a fleeting butterfly.
will bring rest to death. And from now on, stagnant life will once again flow.
Time flies. In the blink of an eye, the 15th entry hour is already at hand. When this farce is over, your soul will be placed on the scales of life and death. Are you ready?
No need to ask so many times. Of course I am.
Then why do you drag your feet? Is your fear of crowds holding you back again?
I simply find them too noisy. Paying attention to conceited fools like them would be an utter waste of my time.
Such harsh words. As I see it, you are no less arrogant than they are.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh. I did not expect to hear that from you. Are you not going to refute me?
I know myself better than you think I do. At the very least, better than a stowaway like you.
And they say men whose ends are nigh have but kind words. Well, that is exactly why I chose you.
Should I thank you for the compliment?
The hour of the trial has come. Do you have an answer for me? And how will you prove the veracity of your argument?
I suppose there is no point in putting this off any longer. Do you recall where we stopped the last time?
You were saying that Amphorius's history is cyclical.
Indeed. The demigods that bear the core flames eventually become the new titans at the world's end. Remember what happened on the Holy Mountain? Calypso, Naias. As their destined ends approached, one by one they left this world, leaving only the twins, who are fated to succeed death. Unfortunately, while their journey is consistent with ours, you and Calypso, as well as Nicodor and Naias, act as supporting evidence. I can only come up with a rough sketch for my theory of a cyclical history. For all the pains I took to reach this point, I had already lost hope of ever obtaining definitive proof. After all, the past is in the past. Proving that we are the legacies of heroes of the past is a hopeless endeavor. That is, until I met a girl named Polixia and her sister. If Castorus was truly sent from the past to the present for the Titan's self-serving reasons, then having lived through 2 cycles, and with Styxia as the pivot, she will no doubt be the link to connect all of this together. If the Twins of Death can bridge 2 cycles to reunite at the shores of the Sea of Souls, then my hypothesis will no longer be just a hypothesis. And you too will get the answer to your question.
Well, that is all well and good, but how can you be so sure? If there is even the slightest error in your hypothesis, the girl will be shattered.
It matters not. The most important quality a scholar must possess is foolhardiness. If you are overly cautious, then you'll never have the gumption to make the first step, and change will never come. Besides, I, an Exagoras, am destined to overturn this farcical world. Come, let us go and teach those pathetic worms one final lesson. Feinen. So they are leaving the final debate to him.
Let those Chrysos heirs who started this terrible war hear you. Let them hear the voices of the people!
As always, that woman knows how to stir up a crowd.
Professor Anaxa, I thought you'd pass on this.
Everyone must cast their vote, or this assembly would serve no purpose.
Prof, do you truly think it's wise to entrust the fate of the world to an assembly like this?
Akuma has stood strong under this system for 1,000 years. It stands to reason that there is purpose in its existence. But that is not what you're asking, is it? What you really want to know is Aglaya making the right decision in entrusting the fate of the world to you?
Nothing ever escapes you.
I didn't spend all those years teaching you for nothing. Most people only take 4 years to graduate, if I recall.
To tell the truth, I feel like I'm on my way to an execution chamber instead of a podium. So, do you have an answer to that question?
No, I don't.
I thought so.
Because that question is not yours to ask in the first place. Is Aglaya entrusting the world to you the right decision? Don't make me laugh. That is a question that woman must answer herself. Why are you fretting about this on her behalf? Or have you been seeing yourself as her pawn all this time? Listen up. I'll say this only once. Flip your perspective around and ask yourself this instead. What should I do to ensure that the world doesn't stray from the correct path? That is what you should be thinking about. You still have time, so give it some thought. Oh, and don't bother telling me the answer. Tell it to those begging for salvation from the gods.
Got it. Thank you, Professor Anaxa.
That's an Exagoras to you.
Who will you be voting for?
That'll depend on how well you perform. May Circe safeguard your thoughts.
I actually don't necessarily mind things remaining the way they are. The way you say it. I'm a little nervous. Thank you.
Elders and citizens, silence, if you please. As the Theoros, I present to you Feinen of Ides Elysiae, virtuous citizen of Akima, and the last speaker of the assembly.
Much obliged, Lord Lycus.
I remember him. He's the penniless lad working for Aglaya.
Where's Lady Goldweaver? Why is she sending this guy to give the last speech? Is this really the end of the Flame Chase journey?
Can this dude really face down kindness? I actually don't necessarily mind things remaining the way they are.
By Kefali above, dear citizens of Akima, as you look upon me, so too do I see you. I see your fear and misgivings, your apprehension about the discord between the Chrysos heirs and the Council of Elders, and your uneasiness about the future of the Holy City. Yet, before you contemplate something as grand as the fate of the world, I ask that you look closer. Look beyond the horizon illuminated by Kefali, at the crisis threatening to overwhelm us.
What?
Aedes Elysiae, my beloved hometown, is a village forgotten by time. It is a place with the most invigorating breeze and wheat fields that spread all the way to the sea. I once thought that there I would enjoy a lifetime of peace and quiet with my friends and family. How I wish I could invite all of you to that paradise, far from the noise and chatter of the world. Alas, I can't. Because she, and all that she nurtured, all that I loved, they have long been devoured by the black tide. My beloved home is no more. I will never forget the day the black tide struck. My father, Hieronymus, fought with a broken sword to his last breath to protect his child. My mother, Aldada, she was ripped apart by monsters. Also, I might live to stand before you here and now. Galba, he was a hunter. But in the end, those arms that once drew a bow instead embraced Piso, his beloved son, as they both breathed their last. Pythias, the teacher, risked her life to save her students, but a burning beam fell on her, crushing her. And what of Livia, her daughter? Did she make it out alive? No, she didn't. Livia, Piso, and so many other children. My childhood friends. They were all swallowed by the black tide and turned into monsters. They kept saying the same thing over and over. Even up until the final moment, I finally steeled my heart and granted them eternal peace with my sword. Why, Finan? Aren't we the best of friends? That is the black tide. A looming threat that can bring Akima to its knees any time. Kindness may have promised that with the 3 Titans of Calamity gone, Akima will return to an era Chrysia once more, but much as it pains me, I must disappoint you. While the demigod of strife has done everything in his power to hold them back, they are still coming. By now, the name of that black-robed swordmaster, the Flame Reaper, has likely echoed throughout the city already. The roaring thunder is a message from the strife demigod. The Flame Reaver has risen from death, and they hunger for the core flames of the gods.
Lie! eyes! If such a powerful enemy is indeed approaching, why is Akama still a picture of peace?
Exactly! The city of Akama shows no signs of pandemonium or chaos. And why is that? I beg you, spare a moment to think about this. Are we able to stand here and hold this assembly in peace today because the danger has passed? No! This peace we enjoy is no gift of fate. We are able to stand here today only because the Chrysos heirs have stepped up and shielded Akama from calamity. With her golden threads, Aglaya has preserved and continues to preserve these idyllic days that all of you hold dear. The Council of Elders claims that Aglaya will one day forsake the people because her divinity is eroding her body and soul. But ask yourselves this. Rather than offering her aid and support, why do they choose to watch and push Akama away from the Flame Chase journey? The answer that no one can bring themselves to speak of. A truth stained in blood and buried in greed, fear, and vanity. Allow me to lay it bare before you. It is because the Council of Elders, which bears Akima's history and honor, along with this citizens' assembly we once took so much pride in, are now infested with vermin.
You insolent whelp! How dare you!
It is true that Aglaya has reached her limit. Why? Because she has been working tirelessly to weave the defenses of our holy city against the encroaching evil. All while these vermin are making up baseless accusations about her and scheming in the shadows. Not once has she ever failed Akama. Yet these vermin attempt to tear her apart, tarnishing her name with unfounded allegations. She may have been blessed by divinity, but hasn't her heart always stayed true to humanity? They attempt to mislead you and reduce this assembly to a crude standoff between gods and humans, but citizens of Akama. Once more, I implore you to open your eyes and look at those around you. Examine them closely. Beneath all that finery, do you see the good heart of a human or the poisonous glands of a pest? Make your judgment, then turn your gaze to the demigods whom so many of you regard as cold and merciless. Do you not see the light of humanity in them? And those who wear the mask of humanity yet utter only hurtful, slanderous words. Can you not see that their souls have been corrupted by power? Yet, no matter what your answer is, and no matter who your vote goes to, rest assured that you have nothing to fear. For Aglaya, Tribios, and I will remain your faithful guardians and pledge our lives to upholding your decision. And this vow will stay true until the end of our days, where it will be passed on to future flame chasers. A steadfast and unwavering promise that shall endure through the ages.
Absolutely right. The Chrysos heirs have only our best interests in mind. I still don't understand it. I will never believe our tears are always have to end. So.
At the present time, on the scales of Talentum, those who call for the continuation of the Flame Chase journey, and those who demand its suspension. Each faction holds an equal share of votes, resulting in a perfect balance.
As expected. This is the moment when the flame chase journey is the closest to its end.
And now, it's your turn to vote, Lord Anaxagoras.
Is there anyone else who hasn't voted?
No, you're the last. Cast your vote with care, for your decision will break this impasse.
I have long since made a decision.
Very well. May you bring much needed change to this farcical world. The last vote.
Who will he vote for?
You've done well, Finan. Given the circumstances, delivering a rousing speech to stir up emotions was a prudent move. Thank you all for your patience. On behalf of the 7 sages of the Grove of Epiphany and the scholars of Amphorius, I, Anaxagoras, am ready to cast my vote. But before that, in the interest of fairness, Lady Goldweaver, I pose a question to you before all who are gathered here. Will you, as Finan has promised, stand by the decision made in the Assembly, regardless of outcome?
In the interest of fairness, I make no promises, lest it should influence your decision.
Very well. I thank you for your honesty.
What's he doing?
The stakes are high. Let's be patient.
Cut the act! Who do you think you are wasting our time like this?
Lord Anaxa, please do not forget that I...
Rule number 1, do not call me Anaxa. Rule number 2, never interrupt me. Silence is golden.
Just vote already. What are you waiting for?
Your vote. Cast your vote. Cast your vote.
I cannot help but wonder, is every hardship in the world something you will exploit and use to your advantage?
How else am I supposed to make use of this situation where my body and soul are separated? Oh, Circes. Or should I say Calypso? Accompany me on this final journey. Let us journey to the Netherrealm and see how she will substantiate the answer to your question and validate my decision. We need only to follow the sound of the tides. You are...
Well done, child. Just as I foresaw, you have achieved great things.
Teacher.
What a twist of fate. A blasphemer, raised in the doctrines of the Venerationists. It's like a foal kicking its mother in the belly after taking all her milk.
I respect you immensely, sir, but...
You cherish the truth even more. So, child, do not be troubled by the criticisms I have borne. Do not let those voices hinder you as you forge ahead. As the sage of the Venerationists, I am duty-bound to oppose you. But, as your friend and mentor, Anaxagoras, I say, go forth, for the truth is already in your hands.
I will keep that in mind.
Go now, child. Your lonely pursuit is about to welcome a new chapter. And when you reach the end of this journey, may we meet again with the truth before us.
You have my word, sir. May Circes safeguard your thoughts.
May Circe safeguard your thoughts.
You are right, Empedocles. My lonely pursuit is about to welcome a new chapter. I must be on my way now. May we meet again with the truth before us, Empedocles.
What are you waiting for? Just cast your vote.
Silence! Silence, everyone!
Behold, Circes, here at the center of the world, I shall write the final step of my proof. For this place is but one step away from the truth.
Professor, I completed the proof you wanted.
Thank you, Castorus.
The answer is plain as day. My vote goes to the Flame Chase journey and nothing else!
Elder Kindness, I have deciphered the truth of this world!
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By carefully enter Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed.
No! Ligus, you can't! Anaxa, what have you done? Have you lost your mind? I hope you are prepared for the harsh punishment awaiting you. Mark my words, I will make sure that clever head of yours never forgets the price of betrayal.
Have you forgotten? I told you that happens to be one of my rare talents.
You put on such a grand performance, just to aid their preposterous flame chase journey?
Performance? No, you are quite mistaken. I may be paranoid by nature, but I've always been known for my honesty. If you really understood me, Lady Kindness, you'd realize that I never had any interest in your pathetic little game of politics. Factions, standpoints, they are jokes in my eyes. I have never once switched sides. Because I, and I alone, am the truth.
Lady Kindness, with all the citizens here as witnesses, we should honor the spirit of democracy and respect the decision of this assembly. I have observed that Akama has chosen her destiny. This Citizens' Assembly has resolved to continue the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
You! It seems not everyone is ready for the assembly to end. Very well. Let me entertain you for a little longer. By your leave, Lord Lycus.
Interesting. Elders and citizens, your attention, please. Stay for a moment more, if you will. Anaxagoras of the Grove of Epiphany has an announcement for the Assembly.
What is this performer up to now?
Absolutely. The flame chase journey will continue? I don't know.
So apropos.
Frankly, still.
Just moments ago, all of you made a decision on the fate of Amphorius. As a supporter of the Flame Chase journey, it pleases me to see the choice you have made.